Mm-hmm.
Monday night. Well, here we are. Welcome, everybody. We are excited to be joining you tonight on Monday Night Live.
Yes, the best night of the week.
And super excited to join you. It's like so funny.
That was like so much enthusiasm.
We are super stoked to join you tonight. And what a cool opportunity. We are rolling into July. Out of the back end of June, we're going to be going right into July, which is going to be our 3 years we've been coming at you live.
Oh my goodness, we've got to do something.
We'll have to.
I don't even know. If you guys have a great idea about how we can celebrate 3 whole years of coming at you live every Monday night with super relevant, amazing topics that we just just send out into the cosmos, let us know. We would love to have
Let us know.
We cannot include sugar, please. For
not
the love.
For the love.
No sugar. Please.
No sugar for Kate. She's sugar free.
I'm trying.
So we are super stoked to join you tonight, to be able to bring content to you. My name is Dean Nixon. This is lovely Kate Simmons out of TurningLeaf Health and Wellness in sunny St. George, Utah. We are super excited to join you and to talk about, I've said that like 3 times.
I know, we are so excited. But hang on, before you lead into our topic, because this is actually a really good idea. I just don't know how we would pull it off. So Jackie says, a dunk tank. If we get a dunk, I feel like that's like a B92.1 thing. Like if we get a dunk tank and get Dean in the dunk tank and do it live for Monday.
Where the heck did
we'll take turns.
I'm out.
It's fine.
I'm already out.
Listen, everybody knows that really they want to see you in the dunk tank.
Why me? Why me? I do not understand that at all.
Jackie, I think it's a great idea. Let's talk about it.
I think it's a horrible idea.
Let's talk about it in group this week.
I don't think that's a good idea. So, no dunk tanks are happening. Thank you for the suggestion, however.
Here's the question for you, which leads right into our topic.
Oh.
How committed are you to forwarding the mission of us here at TurningLeaf and everything we're trying to do with Monday Night Live?
I don't understand how a dunk tank has anything to do with that. Like, what does a dunk tank have to? I love swimming. I love going in water. Water's great, but I don't see the purpose in a dunk tank.
Now they're bringing up all of the things we say. She said, "Get comfortable being uncomfortable."
Oh, there you go.
I love it.
There you go.
It's the girl zone, baby.
That is hilarious. A dunk tank. Well, I suppose if somehow it served the purpose and it got pulled off, it would happen, but who knows? So we are jumping into our content for the night, which is actually talking about commitment and being committed. And so that was the piece that we were super excited about visiting tonight. We talk a lot about the 4 steps to confidence, and we talk about that ability to build the relationship with ourselves. And this is one of the most profound relationships in our lives. It's the relationship we have the most influence over, and it is the relationship that is paramount to every other relationship we have in our entire lives. So in order to build that relationship, we have identified and written in the book, The 4 Steps to Confidence, how to do so. And one of those 4 steps is to make and keep healthy commitments. And we felt like tonight that would be a very good topic as we're hitting the middle of the summer, we're hitting the middle of the year, and we're really rolling into the back end of the year. A lot of us have really set out to create new things in our lives. Some of the manifesting and some of the things that we've been working to create are starting to come forward. And a lot of the things that we've been wanting to create in our own personal lives, business lives, et cetera, are starting to evolve. And it's so important that we keep that energy moving forward and we keep keeping those commitments that have allowed that to become possible.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm just sitting here, even a whole extra layer that really brings in the importance of that commitment. I'm hearing you say like, oh, we've been working on these things to the life of creation that we've been working on and what we're trying to manifest and the things that we have held in 2021 that we want to see come to fruition, right? However, if like me, Virgo dreams so transparent all the time. If that skill, that beautiful piece of keeping your healthy commitments, of actually staying intentional, focused on what it is that you want to create and keeping those commitments to yourself, that's the key to whether or not you're actually even closer to getting it. Because there's many of us that will have reached this spot in the year and not be anywhere closer to achieving and arriving, even though we all know there's no arrival point, right? But getting to that place of actually manifesting and creating what it is that we want because we haven't been intentional in commitment keeping.
Right.
Am I making sense there?
Yes.
So I think it's a perfect topic to keep moving yourself forward in your commitment process, but also to kind of call in a little bit of reckoning with it. Like, hey, if you haven't been, let's take a look about how to get back on track with that.
Right. Yeah. It's that ability. And I think that's the biggest piece in creating the life that we want to create, being able to manifest for those of you that are out trying and working on manifesting this year, but also those of you that are working to move yourselves forward. I love that you called it that life of creation. And commitment is probably the biggest challenge that we have as human beings, because we have a tendency to put everything and everyone in its place.
Right.
When we are manifesting, we're trying to create things for ourselves. When we finally get to that place, as you said, where we are coming close to achieving or arriving to our destinations, not that life is the destination, as you put it so well. But if we're not committed to it, we don't see it. We don't recognize it. We either move past it, we don't recognize it, we don't grab a hold of it. But that in and of itself has more to do with really being ready and prepared to receive what you're creating. But more than anything, commitment has to do with building trust in yourself. And more than that, the ability to feel worthy of what it is that you're creating. That's what I see a lot of people do, is they create a lot of these things in their lives, but don't feel worthy of them. And so they either look past them and don't see them because they don't recognize them, or they don't grab a hold of them because they don't feel worthy of them. And I've even seen people shrink from it and literally kind of like, oh, no, I'm not worthy, or I'm embarrassed, or whatever it may be, rather than really truly stepping into it and feeling that you can trust yourself and feel worthy of what it is that you created.
Yes, absolutely. And I, once again, love that we're talking about commitment with this piece too, because in the 4 steps to confidence, or like we like to call it, the 4 steps from empowering from within. Did I get that right?
Increasing our
value from within, which is our worthiness, right?
Right.
So if you're having a difficult time keeping the commitments that you're making to yourself and others in your life, it's just furthering that feeling that we have of being unworthy, right? It's just like giving us all, when we talk about the coping skills, one of my favorite coping skills is evidence gathering. And it just gives us more evidence as to why we aren't worthy, right? If we aren't able to follow through with the thing that we told ourselves we wanted to get up early and do, right? Or go and follow through with the commitment that we made to be going live Monday night at 5:30.
Yeah, I knew you looped that in somehow.
Right? Like whatever that commitment looks like, it will either forward us in the keeping of it to give us more evidence about how worthy we are of acquiring our life of creation that we want, and or the breaking of that commitment takes us farther away from the belief that we are worthy of creating the life that we want.
Right.
So it really is such an incredible focus to have, skill to develop, or step to take, right? In this arena that we're dealing in right now, with what life do you want to be experiencing? What do you want to be having in your life?
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest piece of that is really developing that relationship with yourself. Going back to that is that a lot of it has to do with what are you trying to create? And I see so many individuals get so spun, we get so spun in our heads trying to manage, control, and create relationships with other individuals while full on neglecting the most critical and most crucial relationship we have, being the relationship with ourselves. We will put more time and more energy in commitments to other people. We will put more time and more energy in meeting other people's needs rather than really first just taking care of ourselves. And we talk a lot about this in seminar. It's not a matter of don't worry about other people and just focus on yourself and don't serve other people. And that's not where we're going with this. But what I am saying is, what would happen if everybody got a cold, right? Everybody got a cold. And instead of everybody running around trying to wipe everybody else's noses, you just focused on wiping your nose, and the person next to you wiped their nose, and everybody just wiped their own nose. Everybody's noses would get wiped, right? But that's not what we do. We just run around trying to fix everybody else's nose and wipe everybody else's nose. And it's not a matter of, well, gosh, if you don't wipe my nose, you're being selfish or you're being inconsiderate. It's just like, no, just wipe your nose, I'll wipe mine, and problem solved.
Right.
And it's the same thing with the relationship with self. Is if I really just took care of myself and really valued myself, studied, read, meditated in, really proper, healthy mental diet, mental and physical diet, physical exercise, really took care of me, and you took care of you, and the next person took care of them, problem solved. But we're not doing that. We spend so much time on Insta-spam and Facebook and all these other places that we're trying to build relationships so that people will see us a specific way rather than really nurturing this relationship.
Absolutely. And I love that you brought up seminar, because this is the reason that we're having this conversation today. Because we just did a level 2 seminar. Congratulations to all of the recent graduates. So fortunate to have spent 3 days growing with you and your beautiful work. But I love that piece. There's a pretty specific space in that seminar process where commitment comes in huge. And it's my constant reminder of getting into that place where I am following through on those commitments for me. Because I know like me that there are those of you out there who will promise yourself a million things, right? I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to take care of this, this, and this. I really want to be creating this in my life. And so I need to get up early and meditate and exercise and journal and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then the next morning comes and you're tired and you snooze until the last minute and you've let yourself down again, right? Like you've let yourself down again. And I think sometimes we hear like, that kind of like, that gut check, that reality check, like Dean was just saying, like we need to be better at keeping our commitments to our mental aspect of us and our physical body and all those places. And it's really easy to be like, oh yeah, I really suck at that, right? Like it's easy to get down on us. It's that space inside of us that we're just like, oh yeah, I suck at life, right? No, sweetheart. No, just look at yourself honestly and see where you can start to create commitments that actually are going to be where you're at in your life right now.
Right. Don't
go after the giant big commitment. You got to start small and build yourself. It's just like habit forming. With keeping commitments. If you're like me and you struggle keeping your commitments to yourself, don't start by making 5,000 new commitments to yourself tomorrow. Like you're just going to fall down. You're just setting yourself up for failure. So when I heard you say like, let's like call ourselves back into like, we need to be making physical commitments and spiritual commitments and emotional commitments and mental commitments. Absolutely. But I think that it's really important to be honest with ourselves at where we're at and then just take that next step, right? Like where we put one foot in front. I sang your song instead of the one I always
normally
recollect.
You sing the other one.
But I feel like that's a really important piece coming into if you struggle with this in your life. Once again, those baby steps will move you forward more quickly than trying to do these big giant leaps that you are going to have a hard time doing. Not that you can't do it. I'm not limiting you. I'm not putting you into a box. Like if you can do it, get it. I'm just speaking from my experience of what I know works for me and a lot of clients that I work with.
I totally I totally understand where you're coming from. I think it's that piece of overreaching. And I think the best way, maybe if I can just kind of jump in, the best way to kind of iron that wrinkle out is what is the intention behind the commitment? If the intention behind the commitment is this big sweeping, expectation that I've got to accomplish this big giant thing, then you're missing the boat. If it's to, hey, I need to build trust with myself. I need to invest in myself. I need to wipe my own nose. And it can be a simple thing as far as just like, tomorrow I'm gonna exercise a little bit more, or eat a little bit more healthy, or read something. It doesn't have to be the big flamboyant, right. Qualifying I'm a good person commitments. And I think that's what you're trying to say is sometimes we get caught in these big, giant, sweeping jumps rather than recognizing that's not how you build relationships with people. That's the thing is like, if I'm going out to create a relationship with another individual, I don't go out and try and take them on this big adventure and make big accolades, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just going to show up. Just me simply showing up when that person needs me the most is the best way for me to show that I care about the relationship. So start showing up for yourself.
Yes.
Start showing up for you. Start wiping your nose. And I think that's the part that really is interesting to me is people will be sick as can be, snot coming out their nose. And I know I'm using this metaphor a lot.
You're leaning on it.
But they'll be running around wiping everybody else's noses while they themselves are just getting sicker and sicker and sicker, metaphorically. And I know a lot of times we think that makes us more selfless, or that makes us more martyrish, where people are like, oh, you're so amazing. But the reality is it doesn't solve the fact that you still have a runny nose. And so that's where we have to start. We've got to start with the simple, let's just take care of ourselves, take care of keep that commitment, build that relationship, start showing up for you.
Yes.
Then the rest starts to kind of evolve. Then the rest starts to just snowball and become what it is meant to become, rather than running out and trying to save the world. And that's what I see a lot of people do. They start feeling good, they start feeling a little better, and then they've got to run out and save the world. And that's because they want everybody to be okay. Well, that's great. And those are the things you can do. But don't forget to show up for yourself first.
Yes.
In a healthy way, not in a selfish way.
Yep, absolutely. I love it. Oh, we still have a couple minutes. It felt like that was a good wrapping point. I'm like, great job, Dean. Way to button it.
No, we got a moment or two. We can do whatever we want.
Well, and I feel like I really appreciate how you brought in that piece of how we build relationships, and then swinging that mirror right back in front of ourselves, right? Because to be in a place of just being at the beginning spot of trying to start to build a relationship with you is a beautiful place to be. And there's no point in, once again, looking at it like, oh, I don't ever do that. I don't have a relationship with me. I'm at the very beginning. Awesome. What an excellent opportunity for you to be at the very beginning of this. And wherever you're at in that relationship with you, there's like with any relationship, there's always space to be able to grow it and to make it more healthy and to continue to show up for you. It's that whole, like, we bring this one in a lot too, but it's not only the wipe your nose metaphor, but also the put your oxygen mask on metaphor as well.
Yeah.
Of being able, like on the airplane, when they say, if we hit some turbulent stuff and the air masks drop, you got to put yours on before you can get out and help everybody else. That commitment is the same thing, right? Increasing your confidence from within, finding your value, all of that kind of stuff leaks out into those around you the more that you are practicing doing it with you.
Yes.
Which is, that's the most incredible, like, when you really grasp onto that concept of when I focus on me, right? When I wipe my own nose, we'll just keep leaning in here.
It's a good analogy.
Right. Then I'm more of an influence than if I were to run around wiping everybody else's noses.
Absolutely. Because in a lot of ways, as we lean more into it, it's a heck of a lot easier for me to take counsel from somebody that has a clean face than to take counsel from somebody that still has a snotty nose. Just saying.
Just saying.
So really for me I need to be able to walk the talk to be the influence I want to be.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of times people really fall short. And so it's easy to put on the facade. It's easy to put on the pretend face. But that's the reality is it doesn't matter. That's not the intention.
Mm-hmm.
You'll put on the facade, you'll put on the false face if you're trying to come at it from an unhealthy intention. But if it's because you're taking care of you, and in turn that ripples out and takes care of others, mm-hmm. then it's healthy and it's genuine and people will see it. That's the key. People is we are so human. Mm. And the minute we try to pretend we're not human, the minute we try to pretend like we're more than that, we start to create this feeling in other people that they can't attain what you have. Mm-hmm. And if you're trying to aspire to another individual, what they're creating, and you feel like you can't have it, that's discouraging. But if you have people showing up in authenticity and you think, man, I want what they have, and I'm pretty confident I can achieve it because they're pretty human too, that's a powerful place. Mm-hmm. So be genuine, be real, but start here.
I love it. I love it. So now we are actually overtime.
All right. There you go. I told you we can do what we want to do.
We'll work on the dunk tank.
No, we won't. Thank you, Amber, for saying hello.
Yes, hello. We've got
all the people.
Paulina over here. Can't wait for the next seminar. We do have a level 1 coming up at the mid of July 15th. Yep. And we still have a handful of spots open for that. So if you're looking to get your feet moving and really get into this place of understanding commitment and creating the life that you want, I can think of no greater place to begin that journey than in our level 1 awakening seminar. So give us a call. We can get y'all hooked up and ready to roll. Until then, we will see you next week at 5:30 p.m. every Monday for Monday Night Live.
See you, everybody.
Bye, guys.